but still not bad at all for the man who was the mountain man in the 1988 Tour de France. Ended up with the polka dot jersey in Paris, Stephen Rooks. He comes in to the straight here. Another member of this very strong PDM team. There's no doubt about it, is on paper and probably on the road as well, the strongest team in professional cycling at the moment. This is going to be a high placing here for Stephen Rooks. Just about to hit the beam now, which closes him out in 15th position. 15th position for Stephen Rooks.
So this prologue time trial, it starts in the centre of Luxembourg, just a couple of 100 metres from the finish area, which is in the Place de Paris, the start area, and it's a rolly time trial, or a rolly prologue, really over an undulating course with a very difficult climb that goes up in about 3 stages, called the Côte de Peyerberg, and the riders were really fearing that, and they were saying before the start that it's going to actually create difficulties for a lot of the riders who will be doing very fast times. Looking at Indurain, winner of the Paris-Nice this year, coming in now, a good time trialist, and not going to be breaking time, but possibly going to go into second place. A very good time here from Indurain.
Man who also won the Criterium International this year, but again fails to breach the 10 minutes. Only one man has done it. You're quite right, Pat. Indurain goes into second place behind Brookings, but more and more this time of Brookings is beginning to look very two trade teams. Jesper Skibby is next. Jesper Skibby, a Dane. One win last year, that was in the Tour of Denmark. He was 29th in the Tour de France 2 years ago. And his best performance this year probably is 4th in the Tirreno Adriatico. He's 25-year-old Dane, but again, not going to threaten that time of Eric Breukink. Now, who's got Breukink got to fear? Well, after Skibby here, Nydam, who won the prologue, won the Tour last began outside France. That was in Berlin 2 years ago. He was the prologue winner then. Then Adrie van der Poel, Mark Madio, Bugno, De Ville, Stephen Roach, Le Mans. Those are the sort of people we'll be seeing in the next few minutes. As again we have a check on the board, and still remarkably that only one man under 10 minutes, with only 11 more riders to come in.
And then behind him we have 5 riders, all on the same time, and all just with hundredths of seconds splitting them up.
Appearance in the Tour de France, the 1987 winner.
Good time, but it's not going to be good enough today.
Won't break 10 minutes. Trying desperately to get himself back to form. He'd admit that he's nowhere near his best form, but he'd also say that he's quite closer to the best boys than he might dare to hope for. Still, it's a good time here for Stephen, and he's got the wind in his back now up the finishing straight here. Won't have him very far off it. It's a really good, he punishes himself up the finish. Stephen Roach, the leader of the Fagor team, the 1987 Tour de France winner, starts his prologue in 30th position. One place more than the years in his life. Another former winner of the Tour, the 1986 champion, Greg LeMond, who, like Roach, won't beat Breukink today. Or will he? He's coming right to the finishing straight now, and this is a good run here by LeMond. He's really battling for this.
Yeah, interesting to see here, because in the Tour of Italy, in the final time trial, he did a superb time and finished second in it. So a lot of people are saying that LeMond is certainly coming back to form, although he himself maintains, similar to Stephen Roach, that it's not going to be this year, it's going to be next year. But a good time here from LeMond.
It's a terrific time. He's just outside the 10 minutes, just outside it, and he gets a special welcome on the Avenue Liberté. Brilliant ride by Greg LeMond, a bit like Stephen on his comeback to the Tour. Still only one man has broken 10 minutes today, but LeMond was awfully close to it. I thought for a moment he might have done it coming up the finishing straight there. Next in your picture, little Charlie Motet. Charlie Motet, big favourite among the crowd.
The world's number one now, Motet, and this is going to be a very good time of Motet's.
It's going to be one of the best times of the day. In fact, he's in with a real fighting chance here of breaking 10 minutes. Charlie Motet, Had 8 wins last year. He was 4th in the 1987 Tour de France. He wore the yellow jersey then for 6 days. The battle to try and break the 10 minutes. He's not going to break Eric Breukink, though. Not far off it, but not good enough to displace Le Mans, the 3rd place for Motet. The big boys are beginning to queue up Pat in the Tour. Breukink, Le Mans, Motet.
Certainly are. The names are back. For Stephen Roach, I don't think he's going to be very pleased with that time, or the position, certainly 30th on that stage. He would have liked to have certainly finished a lot higher than that. As we're looking at Steve Bauer and just leaving now, it should do a very good time as well. But certainly the top men are packing up the top now. Breukink there, Le Mans finishing only 6 seconds behind him, Motet 9 seconds down, Indurain 10 seconds down. And still with a lot of good men to come. Van der Arden is out on the course. Bauer has just gone out on the course. Fignon's on the course. Kelly will be starting in about 2 minutes, and then Delgado.
Here's Zimmermann in the picture, 29-year-old Swiss. He was 3rd in 1986 in the Tour de France, and that's his best ever showing on general classification in this great race, the greatest of all cycle races. He's a man on whom a lot of the hopes are pinned, the hopes of the Carrera team. He's a very good rider, well-rounded rider, can do a little bit of everything. But he's always going to be a high placer, but just not good enough to win the major tour like France. Here's Zimmermann. So it's Breukink, Le Mans and Motet are the top 3 in the prologue. Fabio Parra, there was another Parra finished earlier, not Fabio. Fabio has just begun his 5-mile prologue, and after Parra, 2 more to go, Sean Kelly and Pedro Delgado. That's starting. Finishing, though, are the fellows we're looking at the moment, and this should be La Jarreta, not in the now familiar green, Pat, because that's one of the big stories of the Tour in the last couple of days.
Yes, the Car Rural team, actually, Car Rural pulled out of sponsorship just before this Tour, and this team were left without a sponsor, and they had to rush around, and they've come up with a new sponsor for the Tour and for the future, Paternina, a Spanish Spanish wine company, Paternina. But La Jarreta finished in 10:07, and this is his 3rd major Tour this year. Last year he also rode the 3 major Tours, and I think he's the only rider in this field who has competed this year in the Tours of Spain and the Tours of Italy. And as he's finishing, Sean Kelly is just started and is on his way out now on the course.
Jaw set at Kelly as he just passes by there. We look at La Jarreta finishing 63rd position. Kelly with his jaw really hard set there. The next man up here is Andy Hampson, winner of the Giro d'Italia last year. In this Tour de France, he was 15th last year, 16th the year Roach won at 87, and 4th the year Le Mans won at an 86. Winner, as we say, of the Giro last year, 3rd in the Giro this year. From Boulder, Colorado, 26-year-old Andy Hampson, leader of the 7-Eleven supermarket chain team. Riding Eddie Merckx bikes. 17th position at 10 minutes, 12:01 seconds for Andrew Hampson. And he should be followed by Claude Coquillon. And here indeed is the leader of Hitachi, and it's on a good time, this one, Pat.
Certainly is. Coquillon on very good form at the moment also.
Former champion of the world. His best ever performance in GC at Tour de France was a 5th position in Laurent Fignon. Chasing down that time of Eric Breukink. And it's going to be a good time. It's going to be a very good time for Laurent Fignon. But as the clock ticks by, Breukink survives yet again. But a good one from Fignon. He goes second. Takes over from Le Mans in second place on the leaderboard. And the Star of France is back, Fred.
Certainly is the Star of France, and certainly a lot of interest in Fignon out in this course today and on this race. A lot of people are reckoning that he's going to do the double here this year. So looking at Bauer, and another very good time here at Bauer's also. Just got word from down in the finish area that Stephen Roach actually had a problem with his back tyre. He wasn't happy starting, and he reckoned there was something wrong with it, and the starters were calling him up and told him, no, get on the line, get going, and so forth. He started the time trial, and then seemingly at the finish he was talking about his tyre, so whether he had a soft or a slow puncture in it, we don't know. But that's so be it. The time is posted and there's nothing much you can do about it now. But Steve Power on a very, very good time here also. And quite possibly going to go into second place.
He's going to break 10 minutes. He's going to be the second man of the day to break 10 minutes. He's got to hurry it up, though. Last few meters now, he's not going to break it. Still Breuking's the only man. So desperately close, and he goes fourth. In fact, the last 200 meters, Barr seemed to slow down there, remarkably.
Well, it's a long 200 meters at the end of 5 mile or 8 kilometer course, and it certainly does take it out of you. 3 riders now out in the course: Fabio Parra, Sean Kelly, and Pedro Delgado.
A Colombian, an Irishman, and a Spaniard. Parra, the leader of the Kelme team, that's the shoe company. Kelly, the leader of PDMs, or one of the leaders. There's so many leaders of PDM, I don't think they even know themselves. And Pedro Delgado, the undisputed leader of Reynolds. This is Fabio Parra. He won't beat Eric Breukink today. And still the Dutchman will survive after this man is finished to being the only man under 10 minutes. And that will leave it all up to Kelly and Delgado.
Well, I really will leave it all up to Kelly, because I don't see Delgado being in a position to beat Breukink in a short stage like this. Kelly in his heyday, or Kelly on the best of his form, would be certainly up there in that position, would be certainly up there quite close to Breukink's time. Whether he has that form at the moment, we'll just wait and see. But Delgado certainly wouldn't be his form, or wouldn't be his type of time trial.
Fabio Parra, though, wait for him until they get to the climbs. Won into Morzine last year. He also won a stage in the Vuelta de España.
And there's Kelly.
Here's the big man himself. We have no idea of his time at the moment. That should be posted very soon.
And it's a good one.
Good time, but it's not as good. Well, it could be as good. He's coming into the finishing straight now, and he's really battling for it. He does a jaw set when he left us here. Really out of the saddle now, pumping it along. It's going to be a very, very good time for Kelly. He's right in the finishing straight. Is he going to do it? Battling on, 150 meters to go for Kelly. It's just going to be outside Breukink, just outside it. Sean Kelly, that last 150 meters really does seem a strain for all of the riders so far. But again, just outside the 10 minutes, he's in third position. It's unlikely that Delgado will threaten that. Kelly will be third, Fignon will be second, Breukink will be first. And we should imagine now, with just one man to finish, that Eric Breukink will be in the first yellow jersey of the 1989 Tour de France.
He certainly will, and that caption is incorrect, because Kelly is in third place, as we just saw, and Kelly will certainly be delighted with that time today. He crossed the line and he passed our tribune here. He looked very comfortable and didn't look under any extreme stress as it was, and he's certainly going to be very pleased with his form. There it is, going up now. Kelly in third place, and that's a superb start for Kelly.
Marvellous. And look at the quality there. Breukink, Fignon, a former winner. Kelly so long the world number one. Le Mans, the former winner of the Tour de France. Bauer, always a threat. Yellow jersey man last year. Charlie Motte has won the yellow jersey in the past. No doubt quality tells, and they've only ridden 7.8 kilometres out of what is a 3,200 odd kilometre course in 1989. But even at this early stage, long before the mountains, long before the team time trials, a pattern emerges, the pattern that quality will always tell us. That's a rolling time without any sight of Delgado, so perhaps he's fallen, perhaps the bike has broken down, but certainly there's no sign of him, as we all can see, and the time goes rolling on, and this is quite a story, quite a sensation, and there's something of a buzz around the place now. No sign of Delgado. Where is the champion gone? Here on the television tribune, one commentator looks at another, arms outstretched, asking the question, but here he comes. He's in one piece, and so indeed appears the bicycle. Well, this is an incredible start by the defending champion.
Certainly sensational. It's certainly going to be probably the slowest time of the day, and one can only assume, and we have no information here on the podium, but one can only assume that he had a fairly strong mechanical problem.
Some messages being passed around here now. Delgado's time is chronically bad, and certainly way out. I mean, it's a couple of minutes worse than he really should be. (196). There've only been two riders worse than him. worse than the champion, and this now will be the story on the opening day of the 1989 Tour de France, with the see Sean Kelly in third position and Greg LeMond giving over his second spot to Lauren Fignon, with Eric Breukink, the only man to break 10 minutes today, the only man to break 10 minutes. So Breukink in the yellow jersey for stage 1 proper tomorrow in Luxembourg. There are 2 stages tomorrow, a team time trial in the afternoon, and the yellow jersey will be worn by Eric Breukink. Lauren Fignon was second today, Sean Kelly was third today. What about the Delgado story, Pat?
The Delgado story is seemingly that he missed his start. He was warming up out on the course before the start, and he certainly didn't seem to start a minute past Sean Kelly as he should have done. He started 2 minutes later, and he has lost that 2 minutes. And there's no way around it. It's a thing that happens cyclists invariably from time to time, where they're warming up and so forth, and they don't realize the clock is passing by so fast. He suddenly arrives in the start line, starters are waiting for him, and out he goes.
That's the Delgado story. The map on the screen is the other story, that Eric Breukink is the first yellow jersey of 1989. That's day 1 story from Luxembourg.